Good day. I'm again with you. Today we are going to talk about translation and gender. As we know, gender issue is and will be just the main issue of scientists. And this topic was conducted from different point of views. Always they differentiated he and she, the members of society. They made research from grammar point of view, from social point of view, from linguistic point of view. A lot of differences were identified between men and women. As we know, men are stronger. Women are considered to be the weak human being. Men are taller. Women are more sensitive. Men have a larger heart and lungs, they say, and so on. There are different kind of differences between them. When we speak about the translation, does it exist? When we speak from medical point of view, there are different kind of diseases in men and women from medical point of view. When we speak about mathematics, they say men are better. When we speak about verbal ability and memory, they say women are better. Different kind of approaches, different kind of results of research, and different kind of opinions. They say men are more physically aggressive. Women express their emotions more readily. Males are much better in visualizing objects than women are, they say. Let's look at the results of the survey on sex differences in simultaneous interpreting. Some scientists conducted research comparing simultaneous interpreters' activity. They asked the same questions. Do women render more figures? The answer was no. There was no significant difference between men and women. Do women use fewer items? The same answer was no. Female interpreters should reproduce more accurately the speaker's utterance in interpreting the tasks because they have got a better memory of source contents, they say. Women are good at memorizing a lot of things. And then, is there any relationship between the work and the gender of translator? That was a question, and the scientists tried to conduct this question. Is there any difference between the translation work? There is a relationship between the gender of translator and the gender of evaluator of this or her work when we speak about the work and evaluator. Let's talk about it. Let's look at the next poem. You see on the screen English version as well as the translation. Two versions of translation. One is done by she translator and the second one done by he translator. They say men use shorter or fewer words. On the screen you can see the second sample. English original the text was translated into Russian by two gender translators, sexes, and the first translation was done by she translator and the shorter one was done by he translator. But there is no denying that the fact differences between female and the male translators do exist. They can be seen both at lexical and syntactic level. But these kind of differences are not always obvious. When we speak about gender issues in translation, we can analyze a lot of researchers' work, a lot of researchers' point of views on gender issues. So, sometimes gender does not exist in other languages. Sometimes some languages have got gender issues, and they say around 1/4 of the world language use grammatical gender. What about others? And this kind of numbers, different percentage in gender issues will cause some difficulties for translators, because some languages have got gender issues while the next language does not have any kind of gender issue. The girl hairdresser in English language, of course, it is masculine. Sometimes the same will be changed into female gender, male gender while translating. So that's why confusing, right? And here the translator should keep the textual meaning. And of course it will lead to some kind of dead and straight. Look at the map. Different kind of colors, yes? These are related to gender use of languages concerning to this geographical location of the countries. For example, the color blue, that means have no gender, while yellow color means common, or they use neutral. When we speak about red, masculine and feminine is used. Dark blue, that means 3 genders exist. So different kind of colors, different kind of approaches, of course, will cause difficulties for translators. For example, milk is masculine in Italian language, while in Spanish it is feminine. In Polish language it is neutral. So while translating you should be very careful to several languages. For example, when we speak about cat, let's look at the cat in any kind of book. First of all, before translating, we have to give attention, female or male cat is it. The next gender issue was a problem in Japanese translator, as Valentine's Day, chocolate for Valentine's Day, was rendered not correctly in Japanese language, and they understood that in Valentine's Day, girls present chocolate to men. The original translation gives the same meaning, and from this time, women give chocolates to men on Valentine's Day. Of course, that was mistranslated sentence, and the whole nation understand that the Valentine's Day is a day when she gives the chocolate to man. Sometimes, from social point of view, gender has got quite difference. Secretary, sometimes a lot of people think that is she. But before, he person, or the male or man worked as a secretary in the history. But up to date, it is considered to be as a women work as a secretary. On the screen you saw a book concerning on a cat, and the two translators approached it differently. The first translator used just masculine. The next translator used feminine gender. But that was he in original language. But two approaches just causes some kind of questions in translators. Before translating, the translator should give attention to original, which gender the word is. Next example, you can see the same just question. Кошка отличалась, была. The here was used as a she cat, but it was he cat, and the translator approached it not correctly. You see, that was a she cat, but the translator used it as a he, был. He meant there was the not correct gender, and here he made the mistake. On the first line you can see the word it that means a cat, and the gender was not shown, but translator used it as a ее, его, and его. So without understanding, clarifying, translators gave two different sexes or genders. Sometimes the use of impersonal forms, use of passive voice, and then using not suffixes that don't indicate gender, and dual pronouns sometimes cause difficulties for translators to identify the gender of the hero or gender of the noun. So, the question comes again: who makes a better translation, man or women? This question always suffers of scientists. They say men translators take feedback better. Men translators take feedback better because they tend to be less emotional. They good at technical just writing. But some people say interpreting demands amount of multitasking, which women are famously good at. Women can do several things at the same time, and they say women are good at simultaneous interpreting. That is the point of view of other group of scientists. And they say a lot of men work at high-profile political interpreting because they are interested in payment. And women, for example, use more words than the man in the same sentence. Number of the women use the words are higher than the man compared to a man. Men use fewer words than women. Men had a higher frequency of using nouns and adjectives. They say lexical diversity of dictionary is more typical for female translators because they can exchange or use a synonymic range of words easily than a man. Emotional and sensory evaluations in the translation of men very less than in the translation of women. Women are emotional, just human beings. They use emotional expressive words and phrases. That was all for today. I do hope you got some useful information about the gender and translation. Thank you very much for being with me. Thank you.